while since I've put up a vlog or even filmed, but I'm sure no one cares. Today I will be filming making macarons. It's been a while since I've made them, so I'm not sure how today will turn out. I will put a link of the recipe I'm using down below. Okay guys, you're going to need 100 grams of egg whites, almond flour, powdered sugar, food processor. So you're going to need 130 grams of powdered sugar. Now we will need 140 grams of almond flour. After that, you want to sift your flour and powdered sugar. Here's my sift. So I usually just pour it all in there to another bowl and just tap away. After, you'll see little clumps. They're just clumps of flour or powdered sugar that got clumped together in the bag, and you don't want to waste all of this. So you can sift it again. And then now you guys can see that's all that's left. And I just throw that away. Now this is where we're gonna need our food processor. So what we're gonna do is put our flour and powdered sugar into the food processor. All right, there we go. You're just going to pulverize it, I don't know, maybe 3 times. This is where we're gonna need our sifter again. And we're going to put the mixture through the sieve. Same process. And each time you sieve, you'll see parts that are chunky that you need to throw away. They're very small. We're gonna put this back into the food processor one more time. Once again, we're going to sift our mixture. We're going to sift it one more time. And now you guys can see the mixture is super incorporated, super smooth, no chunks, and that's exactly what we want. Sorry guys, it's been a few hours, but here we are. After we are done sifting all of our flour, you just need a piping bag and then a piping tip.
Wow!
I also have these printouts of like macaron templates, whatever. You can also use food coloring. I'll probably be using pink today. Make sure you use gel food coloring. Not sure why, but make sure you do that. And you'll also need parchment paper. Okay, my forgot the most important tool of all, a hand mixer. In order to get a very thick meringue, you're going to need a hand mixer. It's gonna take some time, even with a hand mixer. So buy it, return it. What I usually do is I put those templates I showed you guys on the baking sheet. And then I put parchment paper right over it, like this. So when you start piping, you know how big to pipe the macarons. I usually trim off the excess because I don't want it flapping around in the oven. Okay, so I poured my 100 grams of egg whites into here. We're just gonna need our hand mixer. We're going to beat it on high. When they start to look frothy, like that, you're gonna need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And the cream of tartar is just to help stabilize the egg whites. Then you're gonna beat it on high. Okay, so when the egg whites look like this, and it's less liquidy, and a lot thicker, that's when you're gonna need 100 grams of sugar. Make sure you add it slow because if you add it in all at once, you'll deflate all of the egg whites. You can see it's super, super thick, but you need to make it even thicker. We're getting there. We're getting there. When I've under whipped the egg whites, you'll see when you start to pipe out your macarons that your batter is super liquidy. So that's why it's important to have a thick meringue. Oh my god, I almost forgot to add the food coloring. I'll probably just do 2 drops of pink. Ta-da! Continue to blend. See, it's a nice baby pink and super thick. I might add a little bit more pink. So this is the final product, and they say you can flip it over your head. I'm going to add, I'd say, I don't know, about a 1/4 cup of your powdered sugar and almond flour mixture. You're going to combine that. Somewhat like that. You want to be really gentle when mixing. You don't want the egg whites to deflate. So after that, that's what it'll look like. Now that it's somewhat stable, you can add the rest of your flour and powdered sugar. This is called the macaronage part. So look like it's not mixing together, it's not coming together, but trust the process. And a trick some people do is that they bring all of the batter onto the side of the bowl so they can get rid of some of the air that was whipped into the egg whites, like so. You don't want to get rid of all of the air, but just some of the air. And then here's a trick to when you know your batter is ready. So when you can pick it up on your spatula and it kind of like ribbons back and forth without breaking. Kind of hard to show you guys. That's when you know your batter is ready to pipe. Just put it into a cup, it's easier to get all the mixture in there. Make sure you don't overfill your piping bag because I've done that before too, and it comes out oozing at the top, which is an entire mess within itself. Okay, so that's when we're going to need our baking sheet. A little trick is if your sides keep flapping up, use some of the batter to seal it down. I'm sure everyone knows that. Pipe your batter as soon as you're done making it. I'll try to bring you guys in, but I'm filming this by myself, so sorry. This is what they look like right after I'm done piping them. I'm going to tap them on the counter to get rid of some air bubbles. And I'm not exactly sure if you're supposed to do this or not, but my piping isn't the greatest. So as you guys saw earlier, you can see little like mountains on the top. So I just dipped my finger in some water. And then they end up looking like that. Sorry if you guys can't really see, trying my best. And here is the second tray. And after we finish piping, we need to have them sit for 45 minutes to an hour. Don't touch them, just have them dry out, and then we can bake them. Okay guys, this is what they look like when they're pretty much dry. I preheated the oven to 320, and before we put them into the oven, I want to slowly remove these sheets of paper. Okay, Google, set a timer for 12 minutes. Okay guys, the macarons are now out of the oven. They cooled for a little. I'm gonna show you my trick to getting them off the parchment paper. But I use this thing. So I'm just gonna take this and get the rest of them off. Oh, hi honey. The last step is to just type your buttercream. If you guys want a buttercream recipe, just type in French buttercream, and there's a recipe by Preppy Kitchen once again. Oh, that one's a cute one. Take that one, it's ugly. Before you officially start eating them, I suggest you put them into the fridge for 24 hours and then you can enjoy them.